What's up, guys? Another episode of Boost Brothers Garage here. Today we're finally installing the pistons and rods. These holes getting filled. So the first thing we have to do in order to install the pistons and rods is file fit the piston rings. We've already done this off camera and installed them on the pistons, but I have a few extras so I can show you guys what to do just for your knowledge. Piston rings here, you'll take one, you'll drop it into the cylinder, push it down, and you'll notice that this guy has 0 gap right there, which is bad. The instructions that come with the piston rings give details on what gap you need for your application. So for me, doing street modified turbo or nitrous, it's bore times 0.0050. So that was 4030 times 0050, and we came up with this. So this is for the top ring, second ring, oil control ring. So this one here that I'm working on now is the top ring. So we'll take this, and in order to get the gap that we need, we have a piston ring filer. So you put the ring in the ring filer, and one of the pieces in the instructions says you always want to rotate towards the inside of the ring. So give it a few turns. In the beginning, I would do 8, maybe 10 full turns. And then as I was sneaking up on the correct size, I would go to, maybe 5, maybe even 3. So one of the things you want to be aware of is you want to make sure that once you're done filing, that they sit flush. Like this one, you can already see it's starting to be an issue. So if that's the case, you may have to come back over here, put it in here at just a bit of an angle, and square it back off. So we do that, and then we go back, we drop it back in the cylinder, push it down, and once again, we still don't have a gap. However, you get the idea. I don't want to drag on all day. In order to check the thickness or check the gap, you'll use a feeler gauge. And again, you'll find the one you need, 020 for this application. You'll come down, and when you can fit the feeler gauge in the gap that is not there right now but would typically be, when that can just barely slide in there, then you've got the gap you need and you're all set. All right, guys, so before we finally throw these pistons and rods in, I want to make 2 real quick points. The first of which is we have already put the assembly lube in our connecting rod bearings. So we've already got those lubed up, and I'm also going to be using Marvel Mystery Oil to clean and wipe down the bores here. This is going to obviously help lubricate the engine the first time we start it, and it's also going to help anything from rusting while it is sitting in storage, because it's a ductile iron sleeve and it's going to be sitting a while. So here we go. quick snafu there. I forgot which way the valve reliefs were supposed to be facing. So, found that out. Good to go. You're going to want to watch down there while I push this through to make sure that the All right guys, so we got the first 2 pistons and rods in, went ahead and put the rod caps on. The fasteners that come with these Eagle rods are ARP 2000s, and the documentation that comes with this says that these are supposed to be torqued at 75 foot-pounds. Here we go. And the last thing you want to do, you want to make sure that there's no binding here, that these can move around, and we are good to go. All right guys, we are complete with the short block. We still need to do some of the modifications to the oiling pan. We need to put the baffle in. We need to modify the oil pickup tube a little bit, but the rotating assembly itself is finished. The only thing we might still need to do, which I need to look at here, now that we have the rods in, we need to see if they are going to hit the crank scraper at all, which it looks like they are. So we'll have to come in here and do a little trimming on the crank scraper, but no big deal. That's what it looks like from the bottom. And there she is from the top. Looking good. So now that we got to a good stopping point on this build, we've got the Cayman in here, we've got it on jack stands, and we're getting ready to start the clutch install and the wheel refinishing on it. So stay tuned for that. That's it for today. Make sure you go down and subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the more YouTube will start suggesting our videos to other people to watch. The faster we can grow our channel. Make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks.